What's up, everyone? Talk of the Empire here today with the Max and Rubenstock, and obviously with my beloved Zero Empires. How are you doing today, guys?
Hi everyone, welcome to the show, and thank you, my beloved Nilly. Appreciate being here as always. And we've got Max and Rubenstock on, which is really exciting. So maybe we can start with Max, and he can tell us what's going on with him at the moment, and then we can pass it to Rubenstock after that.
Hey, thanks for inviting me here. I'm doing uh, kind of well now, starting my graduate thesis soon.
Good stuff. I think we're just fixing the volume levels
Yeah.
at the moment as well. Is everything good, Nilly?
Max louder, trying to get that rolling. Think I will set both of them a bit higher. And you just keep talking, I will adjust, and everything is fine then.
Okay, and Rubenstock is here, right?
Yes, hello everyone, can you hear me?
Hello, we hear you loud and clear. So good to have you here. And
Sorry,
obviously,
finally.
oh, sorry, I think we lagged a bit there.
I'm having a little feel doesn't distract things too much. It's good.
Good that we didn't do any sound checks earlier on. Actually, we heard each other a bit better, so it seems like you're cutting out Ruby a bit. Could you say something again?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a bit better.
When we can hear you, we can hear you well, but you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh,
Could you maybe
connect.
talk continuously?
Yes, can you hear? Is it fine now? Or is it still
Okay.
cutting?
Yeah, no, that's better.
I might have some lag spikes, so it might affect a little bit.
Okay, well.
So stable, so it might be just that.
Okay, so that voice is room stock for you, and the Max was a bit of the deeper voice, I'd say, right? Feels like it. Okay, then Zach, you didn't tell me how you're feeling today. How excited are you for today's show?
I'm feeling good, and I'm looking forward to this. I don't think we've done a four-man show before, so this is going to be good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from the Finns because we don't get to hear so much from you guys, and I think a lot of people are interested in what you have to say.
Yeah, it's kind of felt duty to come for us to come here finally after quite some time.
Yeah, I believe it is like show number 15-ish now. At least what it feels like. We never had a Finn. And obviously a lot of people know Roomstock from my like deathmatch tournaments. But well, maybe you can talk a bit about the Finnish national team, Suomi and ECL, how you formed and how you became like such a big force in the Age of Empires world.
I can start.
Yeah, I think it could be good to start with. Let's say, where did Suomi start? Let's start with that.
Goes back to like Nations Cup 2014. Like that's when only Pike and Suppi was playing back then from together. Asked me to join the team in 2014 for the Nations Cup back then, and Max also joined, but he didn't play any games. And well, we did well, kind of okay in the tournament, and after that was 2015 Nations Cup, and then Max was playing team, and we did really well in that. And then we found Willese on rated games, and he joined the team later in Nations Cup 2017, and kind of
Well,
formed. It all started from Suppi and Pike was the starting team pretty much.
I think Villas joined like 2016. we played a lot
That-
of rated games together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he wasn't really playing tournaments with you until sort of 2017, was he?
Yeah, but there was like no
Yeah.
tournament to play with.
Yeah.
Like we didn't team in the Clan Masters final showdown with a Finnish team. So
Miss from us
yeah,
to not play in that tournament together.
yeah, I regret that we didn't team. But Supi and Pike went to Naps, so we were kind of left without full team. So in the end, we couldn't just team together.
Yeah, but now you are like in full force, I would say. Everyone is playing quite a bit. I've seen like the Max and Vilise going ham, or Vilisa going ham. So many 2v2s you're playing. I even saw Roomstock playing some 1v1s, which I didn't expect to ever see again. You guys
Yeah,
seem
me
like
neither.
you guys seem so motivated at the moment.
ECL is like giving so much motivation to.
Wait,
I
Zach
have
is
to
happy.
say.
Yeah. So like maybe you can talk a bit like when ECL was announced. Like how were your feelings in Finland? Because like what was it? King of the no Battle of Africa was just over, where you kind of were sad to lose against the old Tyrant team 3-2 twice, and then a 60k tournament was announced. How was the mood for the Finns?
Well, the first thing was bad because it was supposed to be played on game range, but
Yeah, we were laughing a lot. But we
So
heard
was me.
but yeah, it's really good that things went like this. So yeah, let's not remember that anymore. Yeah, we were super motivated and we were like expecting to do well. We do our best. LAN final wouldn't be impossible, but we know that it's really tough.
Okay.
Teams are top level team. We haven't seen this high level tournament, I think, for a while. So
So I'd like to ask you something. So obviously, Escape were doing tournaments on HD before Warlord Kingdoms came out, and you guys were not really interested in that. It's understandable, right? You didn't want to play on HD, and that's fine. Do you think that maybe the other teams had, maybe a small edge for a while because they'd played on HD and they learned the civs before Warlord Kingdoms came out? Or were you guys sort of aware of the new balance or the new civs before Warlord Kingdoms? Or is it only something that you really started working on once Warlord Kingdoms was available?
well, it felt like the new shifts were largely unexplored, so we didn't feel like we were behind any other teams. And we played a lot of rated games with Valhalla Kingdoms, so we pretty quickly just learned all the new stuff.
Okay, then still, like, how would you rank yourself in the ECL world? Like, Battle of Africa, maybe let's go back. We still have the whole topics there of Suomi. How was Battle of Africa for you? Like, it felt like so close of you maybe even winning the whole thing. What do you think? Like, you were leading against the Tyrants twice, right? And lost 3-2 twice. At least that's how I remember it.
Yeah,
Max,
both
go ahead.
series were like really close, and we felt that we made some smaller or larger mistakes in some of the games that would have turned the result for us. It
Yeah.
was kind of disappointing to lose so closely twice.
Yeah, how did you go into the games? Like especially like the semifinals, right? You should have been very motivated. And did that break your team, or were you like more motivated because you realized, damn, we have to be like top 3, top 4 in the world? The max, maybe? Because you were like the main player at that time?
Well, we are always motivated by the challenges. We like to play against strong teams, so it's not really issue for us.
Yeah. Okay. And then Rubenstock. Now, kind of the 3-3 team was somewhat set there. You only were switched in for the donut games. Yeah. How did you feel that you only played Black Forest in the Nations Cup as well? Do you feel like you wanted to be like top 3 there, or did you accept your role at the fourth guy?
Yeah, well, it kind of depends on like how the players feeling. Like back then, it was undebatable that all like the other 3 will be better in 1 versus 1, for example, than me. So I just let the players do their job. I have some roles and I'm fine with that, but it might change in the future. You don't know. I mean, like no one knows or not.
Okay.
I think Velesa was the sort of newest addition to Suomi, right? Because I remember maybe 3 years ago, not many people had heard of him, and he's joined the team. Do you think since he joined the team has gotten a lot stronger and it's rounded you out as a team?
Yeah, I think we are much stronger than we were 3 years ago. Like 3 years ago, we were third in the Nations Cup, and Villese was playing some random team games and not teaming with us. He was only 1800, and he has improved a lot since. Like he even peaked first in the 1v1 ladder.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about as well. Like, how did that happen? Like, he was like the normal, like 2.2k, 2.3k, and then suddenly he was number 1. Did you play so much? Did you train together? Like, how did he have that breakthrough performance? Maybe the max again.
We don't even really know. He just suddenly
He
went.
He did it by himself.
Yeah.
It's impressive
to see him suddenly beating like players like Slam a lot. Like he was played against him and like other top.
So you guys say, oh, sorry, I think you cut a little bit there again, Ruby.
Yeah, go ahead.
So say you guys say now you know you're stronger than you've probably ever been, but where are you in relation to other teams? Because I think other teams are stronger than they've ever been as well, right?
Maybe we should really always address someone, Zach, before asking.
Okay.
Like, this question is for Room or this question is for the Max.
Well,
Makes it a bit easier.
Rubenstock can continue his thoughts.
It's a tough question. Like, for that, like, I mean, like, I think the game is evolving a lot, or has been evolving a lot in the past year. The meta has changed a lot, and like people started to make scouts from pocket, and it changes a lot the like style of the, and it like affects on different teams. So
Okay. So maybe we will just jump into ECL. Obviously, like, it is the big tournament at the moment. You guys are competing there. Like, what are your dreams? The Max, you before that even said reaching the land finals will be tough for you, but what are your like realistic dreams?
Well, we always aim for the top. We still think that we have a chance to get to the finals, and we will obviously try.
Okay, how does trying look like? Like, how often do you actually train, guys?
Well, we do train pretty much, and even if we are not playing, we can still discuss the maps and settings and how are we going to play. I think we still have a good shot.
Okay, what are you most motivated to play at the moment? What do you think, like, where can a Suomi team win something? 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, or 4v4s?
4 versus 4 is our best least probably 1 versus 1.
Okay. Ruby, how would you rate like Vilise and the Max when it comes to 1v1s in the world? Because like a lot of people are the Max fanboys and think he can play with the big boys.
He proved that in how was the tournament called? King of the Desert. There, so he definitely can compete in the 5, in my opinion.
Okay. And so it will be tough, or like the finals are kind of still fought for. Do you see like Secret clearly going through, or is it more a lot of people contesting for the top 2 there? Maybe Rubenstock, you could tell us maybe ranking who will place where out of your perception. We can't hear you. Ruby?
Maybe we can ask Max
yeah,
that
maybe
one.
the Max.
Yeah.
Maybe the Max gives us a ranking.
Well, haven't thought about the ranking, but yeah, Secret has a good lead so far, but still a lot can happen. There are still like I think 10 part tournaments left, so there is still room for upsets.
Yeah, there's 12 actually, so there's loads of time, loads of things that can happen. And there's been a discussion recently about best of 3 format. Do you think best of 3 in the first round is enough, or is it just right?
Could you repeat the question?
So in the team game events for ECL, the first round, the quarterfinal, is best of 3 before it goes to best of 5. Do you think best of 3 is enough, or is it the right amount in a series of games?
Well, considering that the teams are pretty close in skill, best of 3 can always go pretty much either way, because it's very easy to just lose one game to bad maps or positions or just screwing something. So it can lead to a lot of upsets that way.
Okay. See, we think that that's pretty much how it should be in a way, because the event's so long that you have so many events over the course of the year that the random or the luck factor should sort of go away if you play enough games or enough series. Do you agree with that, or do you think it should maybe be more than the best of 3?
Yeah, I agree why it's best of 3, and I understand the reasons behind it. And it kind of balances out by having so many tournaments.
Okay. It's good to hear. It's good to know.
Yeah, Zach, maybe the question to you, like, that was your idea. You're still standing with that idea? It seems like it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, best of 3 is a short series, right? But it kind of does work. And the idea is that, okay, maybe it's a bit more upset friendly, maybe it's a bit more likely to have an upset. But since there's so many opportunities throughout the year, the best team should still win in the end. And that should be the theory, at least. We'll see how it works in practice.
Yeah, we're 1/7 in, so Rudy said he reconnected. Maybe you say something again, Ruben?
Sorry, I missed totally the topic. What was it again?
Okay, all good, all good. We just made a sound check. So ECL, we were just talking about the favorite. Maybe Rubenstock, you can give us your ranking there. Who do you see first? Who's competing for the LAN finals? Who will have like troubles not finishing at the bottom?
Well, I would say like I think there is clear like top 4, top 5 teams, and it is top 5 is like Secret, AM, Suomi, SY, and LOS. That's how I feel like top 5 will be contested among those 5 teams. I cannot really tell any specific orders, so yeah.
Okay, so you see Frantic being far off and like number 6-ish together with VNS?
They are good, but the competition is really high, so yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Interesting.
How will you like? That's a topic I'm bringing up like every time since we announced ECL. How do you think coaches will perform? Will they ever get into final? Do they have a shot of not getting eighth?
Well, I think they have pretty good players for 1v1 tournaments, so they have a chance there on the
They had some
others.
surprises.
Yeah, and maybe even 2v2s. I feel that in 3v3s and 4v4s they maybe have a bit bigger team.
Potentially.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And I mean, over the course of the whole event, every team will play every other team twice in the first round. So coaches won't always be against Secret. They won't always be against Aftermath if you were to do it on seedings, for example. This way, they'll face VNA and they'll face Frantic, two amazing teams, but they're perhaps beatable in that sense. Whereas maybe Secret is just too far out of reach for coaches right now.
Again, addressing someone, Zach.
Well, I was making a statement, really. It wasn't so much a question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I see Secret being at the front there, and the real question for me is like how AM will stick together. Will they play like at the moment? Everything works super fine for them, and I see them at number 2. Obviously, like they had the bad luck of facing Team Secret in the first round. Won't happen again for quite some time. And they had the problem that Hart lost to Matthias there, right? That's something most people didn't see coming.
Yeah, it was quite an upset that he lost to Melkor in the first round. I don't think, many people expected that.
Yeah. Maybe we talk about the last 4v4 tournament a bit. And you were playing against SY there in the first round and lost 2-1. How were your feelings going into that series, and how did it go?
Well, Max can say first, I think.
What was the question?
Finland against SY, first round of ECL 4v4. You lost against SY 2-1. How did you go into that series and out of it?
We were expecting to win. We had practiced a lot, but we were kind of screwed by the first map. It was Baltic, and Pike had a really long distance to go to dock, and Villese was lamed, and he had only one bar and couldn't go up. I think that our biggest mistake was that we didn't just take restart immediately when we had such a bad map and bad starts. After that, we were kind of in trouble because we would have to win the last 2 games, and we felt that we left 2 bad or weak shifts for the last game, and they had Spanish, and it was really tough to win the last game.
I really liked that Baltic game. Like, that's something I probably have never seen before. And like that mass, like high level 4v4 Baltic, mass, fire galley, then the switch into longboats as well. So like kudos to Zach and everyone behind the scenes making those settings. Love that.
I remember that game because it was Max making the push in the south. I think he was playing as the I can't remember.
I think it's Malians, right? Fast in, long push.
Yeah,
Malians.
Yeah, there was that push in the south. That was nice, but I think was it Valessa who died on the other flank on the land, which obviously made it really hard to come back from that situation. And the condo spam, everyone's making condottiero everywhere. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was still pretty close game, but we were put into really bad position after Villas got so late uptime, and we lost water really fast. So we made the decision that he will sling me, and I will try to win on land because we can't contest them on water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about the water meta game in Warlord Kingdoms with there's some big changes, right? There's 2 new ships with the fire galley and the demo raft, and then you can also make longboats and even if you wanted to, turtle ships and caravels immediately in the Castle Age. Do you think it's more interesting now? Do you think there's more strategy involved, or do you think that the water meta isn't really that great still? Maybe Rubenstock could take that one.
The idea of making it like triangle already starting from feudal age, but the thing is that like even before, the water used to be for a lot of people for their games, and like only thing you had there was the galley micro. Yeah, and now it's only fire galleys, so there is even less micro to watch. So it must be like for the viewers.
Well,
I
at
don't
least
know.
you get
Yeah,
big demo shots.
that's what the casters like.
True, but in team games, obviously it's a bit different to that because I remember in your Baltic game, you had 2 players making fire galleys and 2 players making regular galleys. And I think that was interesting to see because you have to work together there to make sure that the fire galleys are in front and the people with the galleys are actually fighting at the same time to use them as a bit of a meat shield.
I guess for team games, it's might be actually better the new meta. So it has its own benefits for sure.
I liked it a lot, but it was like just because I felt it was so new. I liked the longboat edition there. Then,
That's
but
really nice addition.
yeah, maybe we can talk about balancing in general. We have, I believe, even the adjustment when it comes to water that fire galley will now make less damage to fishing ship, which I wanted for so long. Do we want to talk about balancing in general, or do we want to go like change by change? What do you think, guys?
Well, you can say some important changes and or have a discussion about it.
Okay, I brought up the file, and I believe Elephant Archer isn't really important. Let's just focus on maybe the first thing that I have on my list here. Eagle Scout training time in Castle Age increased from 32 to 35. That's super unimportant, or is it like more than I thought?
Yeah, I don't think it makes too big difference. I don't know.
Yeah, the previous change that made the Eagles slower in Castle Age already made them quite much worse than they were before it. So they aren't that relevant unit at Castle Age anymore, even though they still do have their purpose.
Okay, then there's a lot of bug fixes, and maybe the biggest change that a lot of people wanted, a lot of people have a lot of clever thoughts about it. In the end, it was the fix for the tower rush, or that we saw such a heavy tower meta that towers now cost 125 stone still, but we have them now cost 50 wood instead of 25. The max, how much will that change? A lot of people feel that that change was not enough.
I'm not sure, it doesn't really make Tavarus much weaker. Basically, you just need to add one more villager to wood to be able to build the same amount of towers. Basically, it just makes the really fast tower rushes weaker, since you can't afford to have so many villagers on wood.
Rubenstock, maybe?
That's fair, right?
Okay.
I think that's a reasonable thing. If you nerf it too hard, then no one will ever make towers, and I think tower rushing should still be a viable strategy, right?
Yeah, I think it should be. Like, I like the tower rushes. They kind of break the usual playing, and you can just go standard if you get tower rushed. So it can be good for interesting matches.
And what do you think about, before this change, we would see tower rushes which were just 100% towers, and that was it. That's the whole thing. But maybe now, do you think it's in a place, the balance is in a place where players might be more tempted to just make 1 or 2 towers and go forward rather than doing a full tower rush?
Well, yeah, it's probably easier now to make the towers when you combine it with some other unit, because that way you can afford to have a larger economy on wood. But I think the large change is that if Koreans don't build the towers faster, because that was the main shift that was even going to do the tower rushes.
And that's interesting. So what do you think about the Koreans now? Because obviously the towers themselves have been nerfed, and then the actual bonus for the Koreans that made them so viable is now gone. So if you get the Koreans now, what do you think about that?
Well, they're definitely much weaker when they can't go for their strong towers, but castle edge towers are still really annoying. I think they have too high attack.
I think it was really telling that people are banning it as first ban in Battle of Africa, Koreans, because it was really unstoppable, the Taurus.
Yeah, no one wanted to face them.
Yeah, that's why I even banned it for NAC, and we didn't like have them at all at the moment. Some of you know, and maybe we will talk about that a bit. Like at one point, it felt like maybe half a year ago we had Cision, the guy behind the expansions and working on. I think that's not confirmed, right? Or is it confirmed? At least I think he's working on AoE2 DE. And at least like working with balance patches. And he created a Discord where a lot of top players are discussing balance changes. And I see both of you being super active there and helping out. Like, what do you think about that project in general?
Maybe, yeah, Ruben can answer that.
Is Max there also?
No, I'm not.
He's there, yeah, we can hear.
No, I mean
in the group.
I'm not in the group.
Ah, TheMax is not in there. Ah, okay. But Rubenstock is super active. Then Rubenstock, tell something.
It was really nice from Kyusen to make the group and ask opinions from top players and others. Like, I think that's how it should be done. Like, the meta the most, and they know the most broken units and broken things that there is. And yeah, it's really nice from him.
Yeah. So lovely. So many people super active there, and we have some maybe other changes we could talk about there. Koreans at the moment, I believe the idea behind them, I'm not sure how much is tell there, but we can surely say they need some buffs now, because at the moment they are just super bad, and we need something there for sure. Let's take a look what balance changes else we have. We have Sling nerfs, we have Couriers nerfed, Italian fishing ship nerfed, Khmer receiving Arbalest. I think that's questionable. Ruben.
To be honest, I would have loved to see Tamring over Arbalest, because that would have buffed their Castle Age crossbows, and also they would have got fully upgraded. So, but at the end, it kind of buffed their late game, where they are really good at. So, well, we don't know after the elephant. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because they could have had like heavy CA, which could have been nice. So yeah, some people would have loved to see Thumpering there over Arbalest. And I still feel like Khmer needs something more. We will see about that. Maybe something that most people cried about, and TheMax can give us some insight there. Rambis are now more expensive, and Karambit Warriors are more expensive as well. How do you like those changes?
Well, those both changes are really welcome. Like the units were just broken. There was no
Even more.
yeah. Yeah, like I think even with that nerf, Karambits are still a really strong unit.
I don't like the design of Karambits at all. Like you can use it to counter everything. You don't have to use like any strategic decision what to counter, because it counters archers and like every infantry almost, and like it's just so cost effective to use the units. So I don't like it all from balance point of view.
But they're more expensive now. At some point, they have to be like more balanced, right?
Yeah, but it sounds like that
Still really.
they only take half a pop, so you can have a huge amount of them. And Malai has one of the best economies in the game, so they can definitely make that huge amount of karambits, even if they cost a bit more.
But if they are so imbalanced, like they have one of the best ecos and one of the best units, why wouldn't everyone pick melee? It clearly isn't the best civ in the game.
It's really good in, I think, 1v1s and 2v2s, and maybe we will see them more.
People are not used to the like faster upping because it takes some time to like. So yeah, you have to adjust the builds a little bit for Malay.
How would you like, if we keep the Karambit has to be half a population factor, how would you love to see them changed?
Maybe increase their training time or something, just so that you can't mass them so quickly. That's what makes them so really strong.
Okay.
So it would be still possible to obviously have a huge number of units, but it would take you longer to get them.
Yeah, or you would
that
have to
sounds
build
reasonable.
more castles, and that takes time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, right now you could probably manage with 2 castles, right? Because the train time is super short.
Yeah.
Nilly, you skipped over the Mayan farmer change. I don't know if you meant to do that.
Somewhat, yeah, but my next idea was to allow you to address any other aspect you wanted to.
Okay.
So go into that, yeah.
All right. Well, the Mayan farmers work faster. I mean, so Mayans basically used to have the slowest farmers in the game because their bonus essentially. I don't know how it affected it from a technical level, but I knew it slowed them down. Um, I'm wondering though how much more food you're gonna get as the Mayans now because of this. Like how like quantify it? How much more? 5%, 10%? Is it less than that?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. It was kind of unexpected change. Like Mayans were one of the strongest ships already,
Mhm.
so it's kind of weird that they were buffed.
Yeah, I mean, I
Surprising,
was thinking the same thing, right?
surprising to me as
Yeah,
well. I think they only buffed it because like it was a clear bug, kind of,
Yeah, it was
and not
basically a
expected.
bug, but they have had been balanced even with some nerf in their economy. So it's kind of weird that they gained the farmers.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean they reduced the bonus from 20% to 15% on the longer lasting resources. And they're still one of the strongest civs. So now they're gonna get maybe 5 to 10% more additional food from the same number of farmers. I wonder how that's gonna influence things. Like, do you think that would change things, like the way you would play them, or you're just gonna have more resources with them when you do play?
They can probably afford to go up to Imperial Age even faster than before, and they will need less farms, so I think they will be even stronger.
Mm. Do you
I'm
think
not
we'll
sure if
see?
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that means players might consider playing them a bit more like the Aztecs in that sense, or would you still want to be doing castles and plumes?
Probably steel plumes, but yeah, eagles are easier to afford now, and especially the upgrades that take so much food.
All right, interesting. Well, we'll see how that develops, I guess. I mean, maybe the devs will touch it and change it back. Who knows? But I can see where they're coming from since it's an actual bug fix. But I guess when you balance the game around something that's broken, when you fix it, it's going to change the balance again. So we will see.
Okay, and then I believe the weakest 1v1 civilization when it came to stats was the Vietnamese, and they're getting more HP on their archers now from Feudal Age on, and red and archers more HP. Rubenstock, how do you like that?
I guess it's fine. Like Vietnamese is one of the only civs that have absolutely no eco bonus, so it's a nice way to boost their early game. I think Vietnamese is still underrated civ. Like they're really good at late game 1v1, for example, but it's that to get there you need to suffer, and sometimes it's tough when you don't have any eco bonuses.
Yeah, that's true. Like, how many civs are there without any eco bonuses? Goth, Vietnamese. That's kind
But
of
they have
that's kind of it, right?
Koreans.
Ah, yeah, probably if you don't mind stone, Koreans, yeah. Turks got gold at least. Yeah, like Portuguese don't have one per se, right?
Yeah, but when you get 15% gold off of every unit,
Yeah.
that's kind of an eco bonus.
It's
in a
like
way.
15% more gold for
Yeah.
Khmer. Yeah, there's some. Saracens only have the
really?
market. How do you like the balance of Saracens at the moment, right? That's some like very questionable. I think like Hard was saying quite a bit. Oh god, I'm effing up this. I should not have done that. I believe Hard said that he liked Saracens more than most people do, and most people underuse the market. How do you like them at the moment?
I think they're well, not a top civ, but I think they're still a really decent civ. I really like the market bonus because it lets you click up to Castle Edge so fast, even after you go like archers. And also I think their late game is really good. So I think it's pretty well balanced civ.
Rubenstock? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
The cheaper market in Volatile Kingdoms makes their pocket scouts much better. Like you can drop a market with the stable and get free carto, and still you can sell the stone and buy food, and now you have carto and can move together with your flank. I think it's pretty nice.
Rubenstock, maybe your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, like Saracen goes to like among the civs that are not picked as like if you get free picked. They are not picking 1v1 Arabia. They are not picking water maps. They are like 5th or 6th on water maps, but they are not picking like 4v4s. Like if the civ has no pick, I think there is a problem. Use for it. It has to be changed, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Dreams like we have a 31 perfectly balanced civs. It's impossible, but we can get closer to that than this. I feel like.
Yeah.
But I mean, what does perfectly balanced look like? What do you think perfectly balanced looks like?
It's
You
impossible
could play
to be
any
honest.
civ versus any other civ, or
That will always be the strongest.
Yeah.
We have factor of like team games and water maps, so yeah, complex.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally believe that we should aim to get perfect balance anyway, because in my opinion, I think it's interesting when a balance change happens and things adapt and change to it. And you could argue that AOC meta game changed for many years, even though it didn't have any balance changes. But I'm interested to know what you guys think. Do you think that the game should be left alone for a long time so that people can truly figure it out? Or do you think that the occasional balance patch, maybe once or twice a year, just could keep things interesting?
I think making balance patches is good. Like even at the moment, the Karambit and Arambite changes are really needed. So, and maybe later we will find some other issues that are maybe not so obvious. So I think it's good.
there could be even more balance patches than what is it now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's at the moment
Well,
it's something like twice a year, right? It's very, very a long time
it
between.
will cause a lot of troubles for tournament organizers. I can believe that, but
Sure.
Well, it is tough, right? They need to talk to Microsoft about it, or it's not like we can give it into their hands and they will just give out the update. Zach, like who do you have to ask?
I think FE could do it on their own, but I think Cision is very cautious. I mean, I think Cision's in the chat. Maybe he can clarify that. But I think they're very cautious about making the changes, and they're certainly not trying to rush them, because the last thing you want to do is make a balance change on something that hasn't been properly tested and then end up making the problem worse rather than actually fixing it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
But here's a question for you. Do you think AOC would have been bigger or more interesting if we'd have nerfed or changed Huns a long time ago rather than leaving them as they were for 15 years?
I don't think Huns were really that problematic or OP in regular AOC. Like in 1v1, the top ship was Aztecs, not Huns.
That's true.
Like the reason the Han wars were so popular was that in early days they were told that they were OP, and it kind of stuck. And also the Han wars are much more exciting to play than 1v1 Aztec wars.
True. They're a bit more diverse.
Yeah, we'll get in some later on. And okay, so maybe I will ask both of you the question: what is the biggest balance change you want to see in 5.9? What is the unit or the civ that needs the biggest change? Maybe we'll start with the room stock.
patch after this one.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
or after this patch, yeah.
There are still going to be civs that are really good. Like, I feel like nerfed a bit. I don't know. The monk decks, for example. Thought about it too much, so I don't have any quick answer to this.
I think Indians have way too strong economy. Like their villager bonus is just too huge. I think they could use a bit smaller bonus.
I think, like, won't there be a change for the melee defense for camels or something?
Yeah,
Small.
but it's still
Yeah,
their
the
economy
power
is still the same.
Yeah.
Like
if you make 100 villagers in Castle Age, you save 1,000 food, and that's huge. Discount.
Is it 20%? Didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's only 40.
No, that's a lot, yeah. Yeah, it's a strong civ for sure, but it doesn't feel like super strong in like 1v1 scenario. It just feels like way too strong as a pocket on land maps, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of one unit civ, so it's not so fun to play against that, because if you beat camels, you beat the civ, but if you don't have anything to beat the camels, you just lose, so yeah.
Yeah, probably. Okay, any last ideas for balancing, guys? Maybe Zach? Some last questions?
Well, there were a couple more changes that we didn't talk about. I think we can maybe bring them up again.
Sure.
A bit further down the list, we skipped a few. There might be something interesting there because I can't remember. Okay, yeah, no, nothing really. There was just the Mamelukes receive 5 less damage from Haubs. That seems like quite a random one, to be honest.
No, like especially in DM, Saracens were so bad there because camels just took a lot of damage and Mamelukes just died to halberdiers as well, which shouldn't really happen.
Yeah, not been watching enough DM.
You still have the 3 range on them, so macro, in my opinion.
Yeah, and sling nerfs obviously won't affect us too much because we always played with other sling nerfs anyways, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Then,
Barbarian.
indeed, Barbarian. So that's the big topic for the Max. Maybe you will just talk about what is Barbarian and why are you the guy to talk about it?
Barbarian is an AI that I have been writing for many years, and I think many people consider it as the best custom AI there is right now. And recently in the previous update I did, I think in June, it's now compatible with Valhalla Kingdoms and it can play any civs now.
Sweden, it is so strong. Yes, just yesterday I did a coaching where someone played against Barbarian, and Barbarian is so clever on so many levels. I was really impressed. Like, how much work did you put into that one?
Well, I have been writing it since like I think 2011 or something, so it's a long project. And sometimes I put more time to it, and sometimes I don't put any time, so it kind of varies. But definitely I have put a lot of time into it during the years. But I think in the past I used to script way more. I have been less active in scripting for some time.
And did you ever make AIs before Barbarian, or did you sort of set out to make this AI and then develop it over a long time? Did you start somewhere else before and maybe decide to start from scratch, or use that knowledge to just build upon it?
I had made some smaller AIs earlier. Those were during the times even when I was only playing single player, and I was kind of fed up with the fact that the regular AI was so weak. So I found that there was a sample AI in the disk. So I I noticed that it's a really simple language. So I tried editing it, and I could even make something that could beat the regular AI. And I was quite happy with it.
Are you are you following other AIs as well? Because I believe there is like an AI scripted tournament running at the moment, and they're somewhat in the semifinals. I don't really know how much is going on there, but are you still following other AIs?
Yeah, the AI scripting community is quite small, so yeah, I know all the other AIs and scripters in the community.
And do you sometimes figure new things out, or have you actually, obviously, I don't understand the technicalities behind it too well, but do you ever have like a breakthrough moment when you're like, oh yeah, I could actually achieve this in the game. I just need to write this script, or is it very fixed in what you can do?
Recently, with the new user patch releases, there have been so many more things that you could do with the language. Like before, it was really strict in what you could achieve, but now you can pretty much do anything that humans can do.
So, do you think it would be possible to eventually make an AI that could beat, I don't know, let's say a 2K player, or is that just totally unreasonable?
I think it's way too difficult right now. I think the language still needs way more powerful tools to achieve that.
Okay, interesting.
But I think unlike deathmatch, the AIs could maybe contest even the strongest players.
And it really contested. I remember when Kellan used to try
Yeah, I
to play
remember.
against it, and and he actually lost one game. On was it Gods or Hansfor? I don't remember.
I think he lost. Maybe it was Hanwar. I don't remember. I think I still have the record somewhere.
Yeah, thinking against.
He wasn't too happy about the loss.
Yeah, but like Callan plays like he doesn't adjust at all, right? Against Barbarian, you just need to defend and let him wait to run out of resources. You can't out macro Barbarian in DM.
Yeah, the AI start in DM is really, really strong compared to human. No idle villagers or idle time.
So here's a question.
Study the Rex for next deathmatch turn.
Yeah, probably.
Starting build.
Yeah, but basically now you could make AI in deathmatch even stronger than they are now. The tools are already there in user patch 1.5.
It's amazing. And how much did Scripter add with 1.5? I mean, we only really recognize the changes that were made that affect us, I guess, in the competitive community. But how much is there for the AI scripting that was added?
There's a lot. Like before, it was the micro they could do was not really precise. It was kind of rough, but now they can do really accurate micro, and they can also see a lot of more things from units. Like before, it was really difficult to make micro units because you couldn't see well that what unit they were targeting or anything, like really simple things. But now they can do that, and that makes the scripting much easier and more fun.
So what is it that makes, I don't know, Barbarian better than Promi, for example, if you were to put the AIs against each other? I'm assuming it is, I don't know, but what sets the AIs apart from one another?
I think Barbarian's strength is that I have put a lot of effort into its Dark Age compared to other AIs, so that it has much smoother Dark Age, and that way it kind of gains just economical lead really fast, and you can use that to rush or do whatever, and it's difficult for other AIs to match something when they are behind in economy.
Right. And does Barbarian, I know it has different strategies, but does it pick a strategy at the start and then stick to it, or does it adapt its strategy as you actually play or as it plays?
Yeah, it depends on the sieve and settings, but generally it on start it tries to pick a strat that it thinks is strong. As a flank, it basically always just goes for some kind of archer or skirmisher rush. But then later it adjusts its unit composition to what it is facing.
Cool.
So it's not always just following some strict build order. What it does, it's pretty dynamic later.
How will it adjust to balance changes? Like if we put the Rambai now to 300 wood, would it still try to build a Rambai at the same rate?
Yeah, it will try. The way it handles its economy, it's only set values. It doesn't read them from the actual prices, so I would have to make change myself.
Okay, so it's quite sort of tailored then. It's not able to sort of adjust itself. You've got to go in and make these small changes.
Yeah, I could make it read the values, but it's kind of unnecessary complexity.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, things aren't changing that rapidly, are they?
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense. Cool.
I received a scenario from you once, Max.
Oh, yeah.
That had like 12 crossbowmen against 12 crossbowmen. Are you actually like using those to train your micro with? Do you even have more of those?
No, I don't really train myself. I was just willing to see someone human play against the AI. Like I knew how it is going to micro, so I could adapt. But it's much more interesting to see someone play who doesn't know how the AI is going to play. So that's kind of the realistic scenario.
And I outsmarted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I lost the first two fights, I believe. But I personally learned so much, like how the movement works. So that was really sweet for me. Like I honestly believe I significantly improved my micro just by playing this scenario for half an hour.
Yeah, I think you could use it for that.
Yeah. Maybe something like both of us have like 12 crosswomen and 1 mangonel would be even sicker.
Yeah, but maybe if the scenario goes bigger, the AI gets more advantage because it can always micro everything at the same time.
Probably.
It could be fun.
But alone how to micro the mangonel there. Like it's unlikely that the AI will ground attack, right? Or will it?
It can ground attack, but you would just have to teach it how to do it.
Ah, okay. That's interesting.
Actually, right now, Barbarian can micro its mangonels against other mangonels. It can try to dodge enemy hits and so on.
Okay. Does it delete uphill?
Well, it's not Vilnius level yet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's a few people in the community who've been talking about this, about the idea of making an AI that can teach itself through using sort of machine learning and, you know, putting it against itself and repeating it over and over again and letting it develop over time. Do you think that's possible?
Right now, it's not possible, sadly. So we have to stick with the current less dynamic scripting.
Why? Why it's not possible?
You can't really directly let the AI learn. There's no surface for it.
Okay, because actually in Dota 2, that happened. And they let a PC run for several months, like I believe 40 games at the same time. And it learned and played against like the best mid laner of Dota 2, I believe. And the AI beat the best mid laner in the world with tactics that they have never seen before. And everyone felt like that is so bad of that AI. And the AI in the end won.
Nice.
And it completely changed how people viewed that game.
Yeah, but the thing is with that AI is that it was very specific to the mid lane, and it was only for the first like 5 minutes. They were playing to like first to 3 kills or something. So in the broader sense, it probably I don't know how good an AI for Dota 2 could potentially be, because the game is a lot more than 1v1 matchups. It's like, you know, hugely complex on a grand scale. But I think it's interesting to talk about this in Age of Empires terms, because like some people have these theories about how they could possibly do this kind of thing. But I was always under the impression that the scripting language is too rigid, and you know, how do you go about making it sort of learn from itself? And Max seems to think maybe it's not possible right now, and I don't know. But it would be interesting to see something like that for Age of Empires, definitely.
Yeah, it would be interesting if someone could make it, but no, right of now it's not possible.
Okay. Any more questions about Barbarian here?
I don't have any, I believe.
Any interesting facts about Barbarian that you could tell us?
Oh, that's a good one. Drop some nice facts.
I don't think I have any quickly.
It's bad, man.
Its nickname is Barbie. There you go.
Like, what version is it? Like, is it version number 30 now, or is it like more like your 10th try?
It's 2.18.
What does that mean?
It's just a numbering.
Yeah, I know, but like that's 18 versions now from 2.
Not exactly. Smaller updates don't receive their own number. They just receive a letter behind the
Okay,
number.
okay.
And the 2 came from the fact that from 1.x update to 2.x was a really huge rewrite of the AI. AI changed its structure almost completely. So it deserved kind of 2 point something.
Okay. Then I think we're somewhat done with Barbarian, and
FIFA versus MBL.
Let's jump into the drama. So
the drama topic of the week.
Finally. Okay, so for everyone who didn't catch it, we had the Legacy of the Hunt, a tournament that had 6 signups, like a lot of great players, and I believe a week ago, like $20 prize pool, which now is at like $180. And we had a game of the Viper against MBL this Sunday, I believe. And it was a best of 5. The Viper was streaming his point of view, and I didn't see his point of view. A lot of people have a lot of different views on that. What is for certain is that he didn't try to win all the games with all his powers. And now there are a lot of people saying, well, he should have taken this tournament seriously. Other people are saying he should have done what he wants. He's an entertainer, not a tournament player. Guys, what are your thoughts there? Maybe we'll start off with Rubenstock. What did you catch? What do you think about this thing?
I think I saw a bit of it from the first game only. And yeah, the question is like there is no like the players to play their best in the tournaments, of course. So it's kind of their own respect to like from their own respect to do their best on the tournaments. From what I saw, that Viper did some unconventional. I mean, like regular strategies. He went full feudal and stuff like that. It has such big drama as it has become. Like force players to 100 best in the tournaments.
Okay, the thing is, like, he was trolling in the rounds before, right? He Tattoo rushed Spring, and he streamed his games. He was streaming other tournaments as well, and suddenly he loses, and everyone goes super ham. Maybe the Max will put his thoughts into it, or tell us something.
Yeah, I think when you join a tournament, you're kind of expected to play at full, and I think it's quite disrespectful to do some tricky stuff or strategies. Like, I really didn't like the Viper's full feudal approach or what he did.
Okay, why?
Well,
Yeah, like I think we need to go a bit deeper. Like, what is the real problem? What Viper did?
well, he kind of knew that he wasn't doing the best possible thing he could do, and he still did that to probably entertain his viewers. And I think that's quite disrespectful for the tournament.
Okay. Zach, maybe your input there?
Okay. I mean, I haven't posted on the thread, and I didn't actually see the games. I was busy on the weekend, but I did read up on the thread today after you sent it, and I think a few things really. I think the first is that it's disappointing when a lesser player beats a stronger player, and their win is sort of just glossed over as, oh, the better player was trolling, and the let's say the underdog doesn't get the credit, let's say. And I don't think Viper is, he's definitely not done this on purpose. He's not cultivated this culture in his stream, but you definitely see this whenever he loses. A horde of fanboys will come out and defend him and say, oh, he was just trolling, he wasn't taking it seriously. Viper would always win if he wanted to win. And I think that's a bad attitude in general, and I don't blame Viper for that. I think that's just the way people are. But with that said, I mean, I can say I've not seen the games, but if he was sort of, let's say, trolling and not taking it seriously, then I can understand where people would be saying, okay, well, it's a bit disrespectful to the event organizer. Because if you're playing in an event, then you should give it 110% because it's the competitive spirit, right, to do that. But a lot of people are forgetting that MBL was streaming as well at the same time. It wasn't just Viper streaming. MBL was also streaming, and I assume by streaming, trying to entertain his viewers as well. So you can't really point the finger at Viper and say, oh, well, it's because he was streaming, he wasn't taking it seriously, he was trying to entertain his viewers. The problem with this is that he could very easily say, no, I wasn't. He could easily say, I was trying to win.
No.
I thought
He
this would
already
be the way to win.
He already
Has he
said
not
on the
said that?
stream. No.
Okay.
He refused to take a restart, although he knew this map was bad. He stayed feudal full game, and game number 2 he went on Tarkins in a spot where CA or Knights are clearly the better choice. And yeah, so he was clearly moving away from his optimal game style. But that's what he did in all the rounds. Like the round before, who was it against? I can't remember. He went triple layer palisade wall and like 9 militia or something. So it is tricky. Like, is it really disrespecting the enemy? Probably. Is it disrespecting the viewers? Like, some people will hate it that want to see like the competitive games like me. Yeah. Other people will love it. Like the popularity of Tattoo Rush after Viper beat Spring with it was enormous, and people wanted to see more of that. That's so nice, so creative, and people were jumping on it. I think if Viper just trolled and still won it in the end, no one would have complained that the first games were trolled.
Yeah, probably. I think no one would have made a topic about it. But I don't know. It's a tough one, because what's the purpose of an Age of Empires tournament? Is the purpose of a tournament to entertain the viewer, or is it to find out who's the best? And maybe the answer isn't one or the other, because I can tell you ECL is designed to entertain the viewer, but we've also done it in a way that hopefully the players find interesting and engaging, and they want to take it seriously as well. I think I personally would be a bit pissed off if a team in ECL decided to troll for a whole series and waste everyone's time, in a sense. But maybe that's different because it's a bigger event, and this event is a smaller event. There isn't a massive prize pool. But that's where I think it could be considered disrespectful to the organizer, because organizers shouldn't be expected to be able to get a big prize pool together in order to make everyone take it seriously.
It is tricky. I haven't really made up my mind. Yeah. Like, how do you guys think MBL feels at the moment?
I don't know. Has anyone asked him?
MBL, share your feelings, please.
Because I think this is like kind of making a bit of a mountain out of a molehill. I don't think it's a huge issue. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I'm kind of both ways. I can understand both sides.
What happened? ECL qualification, round of 32. AM trolled, and we also saw Tyrant at that time trolling. People loved it, like, oh nice, Tato is going militia rush on against a guy who has champions, and people were loving it. I hated it.
People liked seeing Leary losing to a 1600, but if that's all they saw for the whole tournament, they'd probably be pissed off.
Yeah, but Viper did show other stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Like, should they get punished? I don't think so for trolling, because there is no when it goes trolling.
Yeah, but in the early rounds in the qualification, it's kind of clear that who is the better team. So the games are pretty much just played, and it's more like an experience for the weaker team to get to play with the strong team. And in those cases, it doesn't matter that much what kind of play the better team does.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think the solution here is that we need to organize a best of 11 between NBL and Viper and put some money on the line, and then we can put it all behind us, and NBL can prove that he's the best, and Viper can decide to troll or not.
I heard someone say that Viper didn't take it seriously because he doesn't want to burn out. That makes like 0 sense to me. Like,
don't sign up in the first place if you
yeah,
don't want to burn out.
either that,
Yeah.
or you have to like manage your resources better, because like he's playing a lot of like non-super serious game on stream, and I don't think that a best of 5 against MBL will wear him out for the whole week of next tournaments. Like, it is tricky to me. Like, okay, Zach, we are tournament admins. This happens in our tournament. What do we do?
I personally wouldn't take action. I think if the players want to, the players can do what they want to do, as long as there isn't a rule that says, you know, you can't troll in your games. Yeah. But I don't know. I think everything it's circumstantial, right? It's case by case.
Every tournament has the rules. Respect your enemy and the streamer and everyone around. Some people take it as disrespect. Like, should we take like MBL's word here? And if he says like, I feel so offended that he's played full feudal age, and then disqualify Viper?
Well, exactly, right? I mean, this is the thing. I mean, it's hard to quantify it. I mean, you say, okay, Viper admitted that he trolled, but if he didn't say something like that, how would you truly prove it? How would you say, oh, that person didn't play to 100%? People have bad days. People make bad decisions. People try risky strategies sometimes because they think it will pay off. You can't like sort of justify or you know quantifiably say this person trolled, this person didn't.
Well, we can like, he trolled all his 3 series. We can agree on that, and didn't play to 100%. Like, that's clear. But that's what I said about the tournament early on, right? With a prize pool of $20, like 1 week ago. I would have been surprised. Like, I'm surprised how many games are actually being played. Like, we only saw 1 admin win.
Yeah, but money shouldn't be the motivating factor for events. I mean, that shouldn't be the main thing, right? I mean, it's sad that it is sometimes, especially now because, you know, people like the Viper and Doubt and others, they can earn a living from streaming. So if there was no tournaments ever again, they'd still be streaming and still be fine. They don't need tournaments to earn a living, let's say. But at the end of the day, I think players at a high level crave the high level competition. I think that's what keeps the game interesting for them. I certainly believe, and Max, you could maybe confirm that's why you guys are still playing the game and still wanting to compete. It's not for the prize pool. It's because you genuinely want a challenge and you want to play at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
Clear answer. Just another question, TheMax. Did you ever consider like streaming a lot, or what is holding you off it? Because I think a lot of people would love to see you play as well.
I haven't felt that motivated to set up the stream and start streaming. It also takes some time.
It takes some time? What do you mean?
I mean, like, I would have to commit something into the streaming, and I don't know. I just haven't felt like it.
Okay.
Ruby? So I mean, a lot of people in the chat. Sorry, just saying that like money isn't a huge factor. It is a huge factor. I think it completely depends. I mean, if money is such a huge factor, then why did so many players sign up for a low prize pool tournament in the first place? You know, okay, admittedly, yes, a tournament with a higher prize pool is going to be considered to have more prestige, but in the end, if if there was no community sponsors in the game and there was no money in the game, people would still be playing at a high level and running tournaments to see who was the best, because that's what drives people in the first place to get good. People don't decide to get good at Age of Empires because they want all the fame and glory and money. It's they crave the competition. That's what it's about.
But still, like, we have so many, like, we had 4 kind of big tournaments this year already when it comes to prize money. I think the players thought the prize pool would get bigger, and like, if like there are show matches where you suddenly get $2,000, like Dowd against Viper, all out of nowhere, best of 21, $2,000. It kind of feels weird to play like 4 rounds so that the winner gets like $80 now. I'm not sure. I think people don't feel appreciated enough or something, or maybe we're hoping more. It is so tough. I can see why money is a factor, and it simply correlates to the prestige of the tournament as well. Like, if we add 2 zeros to the prize pool, I'm very sure Viper would not have thrown that much. And it's not because, like, then priorities change. That's just how it works.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Oh, Viper's not on the chat. Maybe, well, it is tough. Okay, I think we talked about that quite enough. Otherwise, or do you still want to add something, TheMax&Rubenstock?
Not really.
Okay, then I think we will come over into question and answer phase. So guys, at Zero Empires, at Nilly_AoE, we will try to read your questions and we'll manage those. And yeah, if you have any questions to TheMax or Rubenstock, that's your time. We have them here about ECL, about Suomi in general, maybe some questions about Barbarian. Can you ask TheMax if people marry me? No.
How does Max always get pocket passive in team games? Pure skill.
You need the correct color.
You heard it here. Color 5, guys.
Would Suomi move into another esports brand if you had an offer?
Well, it depends on what kind of deal we would get, but
Nothing but a rebranding. Yes, no, maybe.
What?
Nothing but a name change and maybe some like retweets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we hear you, Rubenstock?
I'm
He's
not sure.
still having some internet issues. Try to say something.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's having trouble.
Usually at evening time, Ruben has connection issues.
Sick. I didn't know that. Okay, TheMax, like, did you become real life friends when you traveled to China as well? Because you spent like 4 or 5 days there as a group. Like, did that increase your team spirit as well?
Yeah, I think it did, but we were already pretty close even before we.
Did you meet each other before that?
No, we hadn't met, but I think our relations are kind of the same or a bit better, I think.
Hello.
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 Oh man, I had some issues. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So then, question to Rubenstock: how much are you preparing per week for ECL at the moment? How often do you train?
Well, it's tough because I don't play in every round. When I play, I like to have like everything prepared. I want to test the maps and me, but the team. Like, and sometimes I give watch recordings and we discuss about the strategies and stuff like that from time to time.
Okay. The Max, at the moment you are playing massive amount of 2v2 with Willise. Do you enjoy that? Do you think you can contest people like hard Lyrian 2v2s? You even won the Nomad Battlegrounds 2v2s. And like how high would you rate yourself if you were playing the 2v2 tournament?
Yeah, I think we are a really solid 2v2 team with Willise, and I think we can contest pretty much anyone.
Okay. Rumors have it that you played Arena before you played other maps and were pretty good there, the Max. Is that still the case? Do you like the map? Do you still play it?
No, I haven't played Arena anymore for a long time.
Why?
I kind of felt demotivated to play 1v1 Arena anymore, and Arena team games I never really liked.
Okay. Do people have any access to the Barbarian AI code, or do you want to keep that to yourself?
Oh, anyone can view it. You can just open the Barbarian into a notepad or something, and you can see all the code.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Okay, who do you prefer to play 2v2 with, the Max? Zopi or Willise?
Well, I have played more with Willis recently, so I think we probably would perform maybe better.
Okay. Zach, do you have any questions to the two of them?
Well, I was trying to look for questions in the chat.
There was one for you as well.
Oh, was that? Well, so people are asking about SY after you met them at LAN, but maybe you could actually just talk a little bit about your time in China. What was it like? What was the best part? What was the worst part of China when you visited?
For me, at least.
We didn't get that. How was it? Say it again, Ruby.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, try.
Yeah.
It was amazing trip.
We got one word.
I heard amazing trip. What was
okay.
amazing trip? I heard. Okay. Tough one. Maybe the Max can say something more.
Well, it was a really unusual experience, like the way we were treated and so on. It was not something that you're used to, but I think it was a nice trip after all. And
how were you treated?
well, it was just weird when people come and ask for signatures and stuff, and I don't know.
Did you feel like a celebrity?
Not really. It was kind of awkward.
Okay. Interesting. And what was the food like?
Oh, the seafood was really great. I really enjoyed eating all Chinese food there. By some reason, the Brazilians weren't really fond of that.
Yeah, I've had mixed reviews.
Fire was super picky there, and I was Riot. Riot was in China as well, right? Yeah.
No, he was on the other Brazilian team.
No. But the first time we all went to
the
China.
First time,
yeah. When there was Tyrant against SY. Okay, so not that many questions. Maybe the question to Zach that got asked like the 6th time now. Do you think that Microsoft should have used ECL to promote AoE2 DE?
Well, maybe they will. AoE2 DE has very, very little information about it other than it's being made. So if AoE2 DE is being made and ECL is lasting a whole year, then maybe at some point in that year, some information will come out. We can use ECL to promote it. I don't know, but we'll see, won't we? I expect at least in the next year we'll hear something. So we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. TheMax&Rubenstock, anything you wanted to say, anything you thought we would address today, but wasn't addressed yet?
No, I don't have anything more to say. And I think Ruben's connection is already so bad that he can't even say anything.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Can you hear now?
Yeah,
We got you.
I want to ask you, Jack, why is there no Black Forest in ECL?
All right.
I don't actually have a very good answer for you for that. It would, if anything, it would be in Europe West. I would assume if we were to put it in. But we put in clearing instead, which I think is kind of Black Forest-ish, but it has less choke points, so it's a bit more interesting, perhaps.
I think it will play pretty similar.
But I didn't make the map decisions on my own. It was a process that involved a few people. So, but I think we thought that Black Forest would be too choke pointy and the games could drag. But clearing is a map which does allow for more possibilities to push.
True.
I mean, you could also ask why is Forest nothing in the tournament, and again, I wouldn't have a good answer
Black
for
Forest
you. But
is completely different.
No, I know. I'm kidding, but I don't know. The thing is, there's a lot of maps. We could have put a lot of different maps in, and we kind of had to narrow it down a little bit.
Why is there no deathmatch in the tournament, Zach?
Because it's a random map tournament.
No, you also have Regicide.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, but
why is
there no King of the Hill?
Yeah. Why is there no King of the Hill, Zach?
Relic?
Zach, why are there no King of the Hill tournaments?
Oh, I don't want to do this anymore. We have Nilly's Hippo Cup for that.
Okay.
Clash of the Hippo.
King of the Hippo. But thanks.
King of the Hippo. Yeah, why are we not playing CBA every third round? No, I can see the point about Black Forest though, because I guess it's a map a lot of people can relate to. It's like the second most played map on Voobly, I think.
Black Forest?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Has to be Arabia first? Land Nomad is the tricky one, right?
I thought it was Arabia, then Black Forest.
Might be true.
I mean, it's like everyone under 1700 is farming Black Forest games, so.
And some above 1700.
Yeah, some above as well.
Oh god, I still hate Team Germany for that. Like, before ECL seedings, we knew like rating was super important, right? And so I wrote in our WhatsApp group like, okay, now 1 week left. Everyone, go farm 1700s, 1600s on Black Forest so that our rating is rising, right? And then Enderine and Skittle are getting beat 5-0 by Max and Rubenstock, I believe. Like, because they joined the other team and they felt like, yeah, it's easy points, it's still Black Forest. And we dropped so heavily in points, and I believe we went down from like seed 10 or 11 to 14. Oh, yeah, that didn't work out for us.
Oh.
Then we had to face SY.
You faced, yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, I was somewhat motivated, but we got so smashed there.
We're training hard.
Yeah, we were training hard. I think we had kind of a lot of bad luck there in the qualifier as well.
The seeding also changed, so
yeah,
could have been better chance It's in different group, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think there were some issues with the seeding with Ares, for example.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ares playing against coaches because I think that would have been really tough.
Ours was coaches, yeah. I believe VNS should have gotten a higher seed as well, right? Oh no,
Seeding is
ZZ.
hard.
ZZ had a too. The Z seed was too low, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Faced us
easy.
in the first round.
It was tricky. Okay, it seems like not a lot of questions are flying in. Then, do we have anything left to ask, Zach?
I don't think so. We've gone over a lot today.
I think so as well.
Barbarian stuff was really interesting.
Yeah, I think so as well. So, any last words from you guys, Rudy or Max? What's your first name, Max? Is it Max?
No, it's not Max.
Ah, okay. What is it? Oh, no, don't tell us. Don't tell us. Okay.
Okay.
So,
one final question: who is the youngest person in Suomi?
I think Ruben is the youngest one.
I didn't.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Aren't you like 21, Ruben? How old are you?
21.
21. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, okay.
And okay, and then who's the oldest then?
Well, Tsupi
Tsupi?
is easily the oldest.
Zupi. Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
And who is the team leader? Do you have like a team leader that sort of, steps up when needed, or are you all just sort of?
That's a nice question because I have thought about it, and I think we don't have like kind of one person who is leading, discussing everything as a team, and
See your room. Feels so bad, man.
I don't know if you had more than me because you had more before. So yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like it. Feels so omi, man, and I think we will let it go. Thanks, the Max and Roomstock, for being here and giving
Like
us the giving us the very insight in your team. Thanks for Zach, of course, for being around. Last words for you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate it. It's nice to hear from you because we don't get this opportunity very often, and it's good to get an insight into to what you guys have to say as well. So thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, see you.